Hello and good morning. Gary Champion once again with some psychic medium stuff. Um, and also, the world is evolving as it should. That doesn't that doesn't sound right. But the other side says, given the things that we've done, this is the way the world will evolve. Sort of in a strange place of resolving issues, moving forward, going backward, resolving issues, moving forward. It's a never ending process that eventually gets us somewhere. Uh, is As a child, I didn't know anybody that was a psychic medium. They didn't exist. Or if they did, I couldn't feel them. Um, as a college student, I started to notice more of them. And they noticed me. I could be sitting in a restaurant and would get the impression that someone who was a medium was in the room, and I'd turn around and they'd be staring at me. So there was a self acknowledgement, a little nod there. But I noticed and is psychic medium, is the ability transmittable through genetics? Interesting question. One I happen to think is true. My grandmother was a medium. I believe my father had the ability, although he didn't use it. My brother had it, and he definitely didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't want anything to interfere in his life. And I took the plunge. Um, my sister's a healer, so yeah, I think it's genetically involved. If you hear that, that's my wife playing with Peanut. You know, I haven't seen Peanut for a while. Maybe I'll bring him out, show him to you. Anyway, um, so as time goes on, the genetic ability for psychic medium abilities will be transmitted from one person to four person to 8 people to 24 people to, so it'll become more commonplace. And what does that mean for us in the future? Well, there'll be fewer lies if people can know what you're thinking. Um, Lies will become less prevalent because once people realize that other people at large, that a significant number of people can know what they're thinking, then what would be the point in lying? Well, that'd be a breath of fresh air. So my family's psychic medium, their children will be, there'll be more, be fewer lies, be more honesty in everything, politics. And we've had programs for decades to try and see what the Russians were doing. What was that? Used to know the name of it, Star or something other, about remote viewing and things like that, that were to some degree successful. Well, there won't be any need for those things because there are people out there now who can close their eyes and tell you what they're doing in Russia. So I haven't ever tried. That's a good question. I've never given that any thought. But it's interesting, isn't it? As time goes on, there'll be fewer lies, more honesty, and then we can really get somewhere. Um, the distortion of the truth will become a thing of the past. That's not going to happen tomorrow, but at some point, people will just be pointing at each other and saying, "Well, why are you lying to me? Don't you know I can read your mind?" And I actually say that sometimes. People will sit down and then begin to lie. And they know what I do for a living. So I have to remind them. I say, why are you lying to me? I say it just like that. And I say, what do you mean? I said, well, what I do for a living. You can't really lie to me. I said, oh yeah, I forgot. So lying maybe is done for convenience. Also makes you can puff yourself up into looking like someone you're not. Peanut. He's got a toy in his eye. Come on. People in YouTube want to see you. Come on. You're going to have to come in here to.
He wants to play with his ball.
Maybe he can't get a hold of that ball.
I know, but he likes it because he chases it. He's a soccer player.
We're playing chase the large ball.
Kick the ball. Kick the ball. Kick the
Here he
ball.
comes. I don't know if you can see him or not.
Wait, kick the ball.
You see him on the floor? Come here, Peanut.
Go get the ball.
Oh, there he is. Can he be seen? There he is. What can I say? He's had a quick entrance and a quick exit. He's chewing on a ball. Come here, Peanut. Oh, he just loves that ball.
He loves that ball.
Come here.
I gotta kick the ball.
Come here, you rotten dog. Peanut.
I kick the ball.
He's not cooperating. Of course, he never does.
Kick the ball.
He's Peanut the Wonderdog. I don't think I can show any of this. Let me see. Maybe you can see him. Where's he? He's playing with the ball over there. Interrupting my video.
Look at him. Snorting.
Come on, Peanut. He's in full player mode.
He's
Okay.
right.
Y'all can continue in the other room.
Kick the ball.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. Usually if you pat your legs, he'll just jump right up in your lap. I think you've seen it before in other videos. Anyway, hopefully the future will offer more truth. There's no point to lying because everybody will know that you're lying. There'll be nothing to be gained by it. So, future's going to be interesting. I won't be around to see it, but several generations from now, genetics plays a big part in solving a lot of our problems, not just in America, but in the world. And I've talked about these things before, but the world is becoming browner. People of color are having more children than white people. They just are. Which means the population is growing browner, and there's a lot of intermarrying going on between people of color and people who are white like me. Beige, well, I have a little bit of color. I'm part Indian, but as time goes on, the color of our skin will become almost the same. Which does what? Racism. The big bugaboo. Which all started because of labor. So color of our skin will become one. It's out there. It's not today. It's not tomorrow. But these people that are arguing over skin color, and that's all it is. So it's a pigment issue. We'll all become pretty close to the same color, which will eliminate racism, which is at the root of a lot of the angst that's in America and other countries. And other countries who are now denying racism. We're not racist. Of course you're not. You sold slaves, but anyway, so as time goes on, psychic medium abilities, psychic abilities will expand. Pretty soon everybody will be able to know everything. The future, things that happened in the past that aren't apparent, they'll be able to lock into those and know their history. And the future looks bright ahead. Someone just said that, actually. So rather than dwelling on the temporary negative things that we're going through now, idiocracy, arguing over things that don't matter, eventually it'll all be moot. Was it John Lennon said, imagine no countries? It may be that point where we're all just one big country. Old antagonisms will disappear. Isn't it interesting? I always wondered, what do you do as a teacher when history becomes so large that you can no longer teach it? I think we're already there. What do you cherry pick out of history to teach kids? The big things? That's about what it'll, because there'll be so many big things that a lot of the little things will be lost. So in the future, when all of these things come to pass, when psychic medium abilities are everywhere and racism doesn't exist, will we still remember it? Will it be just like some old car that no longer runs, it sits rusting in the front yard? Well, what is that? Well, that's that old Nash that your great 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 grandfather owned. Well, what did it do? Well, I heard it had a motor, and it kind of had tires that ran down the road and would take you from one place to another. Wow. Are you sure? I didn't hear about that in school. So as time goes on, things will look brighter. Things will be brighter. Things will change. The past will be forgotten. Racism won't exist. People will know each other's thoughts. And someone in the middle of eating dinner in a restaurant will stand up and say, "Why are you lying to me? Don't you know who I am?" No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.